Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Callie and it is still freezing here in the Midwest and not really getting any better moving into February, but with a new month comes a TBR. I haven't done a TBR in a minute. I've done a lot more of just the wrap up kind of things and different opinions, different reviews. So I'm excited to get back to an actual TBR. So to start off, I always start off my month with a reread of a series that I've read so that I can finish it. This one's a bit of a different story because this series, I pushed this off so long because I thought it would be complete by the time I got to it. I literally just looked at the Goodreads and now the final book has been pushed out to 2025, but I still want to finish the books that are out that I haven't gotten to and get it together. So that series is the Truth Witch series. So that includes Truth Witch as the book one. That is the Truth Witch series by Suzanne Dennard, which includes Truth Witch, then Wind Witch, the novella, which you're supposed to read third, which is Sight Witch, Blood Witch, and the only book in the series I haven't read, which is Witch Shadow. It still bothers me that this goes away from all the nomenclature that the other ones do. However, it's a 5-book series, soon to be a 6-book, soon being a relative term because it says 2025. I'm a little sad, a little angry, but whatever. So I'm going to read all the way up to Witch Shadow, and then by the time the last book, which I don't even think has a name yet, comes out, I will probably reread the entire series again and get to the last book. We'll see. But that is the series, so because this is such a big series, I have a lot less on my official TBR, because usually the series that I read are either duologies or trilogies. This is a longer one. So the first book on the TBR that is not a part of this series is A Shadow and Moonlight by Laura Lunier. I've actually met Laura Lunier twice. And so I pre-ordered her book and I am just so excited to actually get to this. This is about a woman who has congenital heart failure and she then meets a man who is cursed to live forever. And I know it's a romantasy, so it's the whole tagline is a woman fated to die young and a man cursed, or I don't know if he's even a man. I don't know what he is. Fae, something, fantasy-esque, cursed to live forever and see all of his loved ones die. So I'm really excited. I know this is a duology and I've heard really good things about this series, so I'm excited to jump into this finally. Next I have a thriller, which I'm shocked I haven't gotten to this yet, and that is The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. Riley Sager is my favorite thriller author. I just love how he weaves stories. This one follows I believe it's a young widow. This follows a widow who kind of retreats to her lake house to kind of deal with the grief of her lost spouse, and ends up watching this couple across the lake and watches their love story evolve and then eventually devolve. And I think it's kind of like she witnesses something and has to try and piece together, like, did they kill each other? Did one or the other kill the other? And she then goes on this whole vigilante thing to figure out what happened. So I'm really excited. This is very different from Riley Sager's typical writings. Usually it's something's haunted and they have to go investigate. So I'm really interested to see how this one goes. Up next I have a bind up. This is actually 3 books in one. And that is The Modern Fairy Tales by Holly Black. It's the Modern Fairy Tales, which I believe this one has, what is it? Tithe? Hold please. Tithe, Valiant, and Ironside. So this is the entire trilogy in one bind-up. I have a couple of bind-ups that I've done. Essentially what I do is I take a weekend and then go through this entire thing. But I do only count it as one book because I only have it as one book. I bought this when we met Holly Black. This is one of the few books in her backlog from the Land of Fairy that I didn't own. So I ended up getting it, and I believe it's signed. Yep. So I've been meaning to get it. Like I said, this is one of her older, I think this was her first dip into her Land of Fairy that she's created with the Cruel Prince saga. So I'm really intrigued I love this world. It's so much fun. It's dark. It's twisted. It is what we know Fae to be, the manipulative and slightly morally gray. But I know this is older YA, but I really like Holly Black's writing, especially in this world, so I'm excited to finally have read all of my Holly Black. This is the last one standing, and it's been so intimidating to try and read. Up next, I have another book that I've been kind of intimidated to try and read. Had this for a while. This is Catherine Parr, The Sixth Wife by Alison Weir. This is a part of her Six Tudor Queens series, where she takes not only when the wives of King Henry VIII were married to King Henry, but their entire life before, and only like 2 of them had an after, 3-ish had an after. But she explores their entire lifespan, which I have found fascinating. It is technically historical fiction, but this is her area of expertise, so she has warped it a little bit, so it is considered fiction. But this follows the final wife, Catherine Parr. I actually know very little about Catherine Parr, but usually, okay, so I know a lot about the first 3 wives, not so much about the last 3, but her Anna Cleves and Catherine Howard books were really intriguing and kept me engaged and actually made me care about them. Not that I don't care, but like, I was intrigued. I'm a huge Anne Boleyn stan, so that's usually where I gravitate towards when it comes to historical fiction, especially around the Tudor era, is Anne Boleyn and Elizabethan. So I don't usually spend a lot of my time on the other wives. So I'm really interested to see Catherine Parr's life. I know she was a writer, she was very political. She had a forbidden love story. I think she was widowed twice before marrying Henry, or at least widowed once. So really excited to actually delve into those marriages and her life after Henry actually died. So Sarah and I are doing a just kind of book club between the 2 of us, and the pick that we had for February is Do Your Worst by Rosie Danan. This is a medium versus a skeptic in a haunted house rom-com. Tell me less. I am so excited for this. I've heard fantastic things about this book. I know I love Rosie Danan's writing. She's the author of The Roommate, which is one of just my all-time favorite rom-coms. So we both had a copy of this, so we're gonna try and read it. So, and that's perfect for February. We wanted to pick a romance. So that is my official TBR. I set up my TBR in a very weird, specific way. I always pick 1 series to finish, and then I add books to fill in those gaps up until 10 that I have the book club pick, and that's the official TBR. What I also do to add onto the TBR is continuing series. So if it has not been picked for the monthly complete reread or finishing of, I will read 1 book in a series every month until I finish it. So the next set of stuff that I have are continuations of series that I've just started over the past couple of months and I'm just still getting into. The first one, going off of Sarah and mine's book club. So for January, our book was Song of Silver, Flame Like Night by Amelia Wenzel, and Dark Star Burning, Ash Falls White just came out in January, so I'm able to go right into the sequel, and I'm really excited. I really liked Song of Silver, so really intrigued to see where this is going to go. This is significantly shorter than book 1, so I'm equally scared and excited to see where this entire book goes. The next book, or the next series that I'm actually finishing in February is going to be Unlock Your Storybook Heart by Amanda Lovelace. This is her create your own fairy tale poetry collections. This is the final book in that. And I love her poetry collections. They are phenomenally written. They're all about feminism and what it's like being a woman in today's society. And I just devour her poetry so much, so I'm excited to get to this last collection. It's the last of the ones that I own. I do a lot of Kindle and audiobooks, so I don't own a lot of these, but the next one that I have is Beasts of War by Ayana Gray. It's the third and final book in the Beasts of Prey series, so I started my reread over in December of Beasts of Prey. I really love that story. It is filled with this rich African mythology along with a vibrant magic system and really amazing characters. I just recently finished Beasts of Ruin, which is book 2. So I'm really excited that book 3 dropped right in January for me to start it in February. Next I have Veins of Magic by Emma Hamm. This is the second book in her Otherworld series. The first one is Heart of the Fae. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, but with fae, but not quite the fae of like ACOTAR. He's almost like a golem. So it's our main smart female character is trying to figure out this curse. This is a romantasy. series. I greatly enjoyed Heart of the Fae, a lot more than I anticipated, so I'm really excited to get into Veins of Magic. I'm hoping we get a lot more of the magic system and a lot more of the romance, because it picked up right at the end and then we had our cliffhanger, so I'm excited to get back into it. Next I have The Inadequate Heir by Danielle L. Jensen. This is the third book in the Bridge Kingdom series, but the Bridge Kingdom series I find is very weird. So the first two books follow one couple, and then the next two books will be following the different couples. This is book 3, so we're following a whole new couple. We're following the brother of the main female character from the first two books. So I really like the Bridge King. I like the Bridge Kingdom, the world around it. It's really interesting. It's very political. The romance is done really well, but I'm excited to jump into new characters and explore a whole different part of the world. Like, we've spent most of our time in the actual Bridge Kingdom. Now we're going to explore a whole separate area of this continent. So I love series like this, especially in fantasy, where you can kind of explore all around. Next I have Crystal Caged by Elise Kova. This is the final book in the Vortex Visions series. I've been reading this for a couple of months. This is a 5-book series and a spin-off off the Air Awakens series. I will say I haven't been enjoying this as much as I enjoyed the Air Awakens series, but it is still really interesting, and it introduces a whole new set of magic for us to understand and to learn. And it's very almost like steampunk, as well as with time travel and time manipulation. And it's all very interesting. I'm finally getting to the end of that series, and I'm really excited because I'm going to pick up the series that is a spin-off, another spin-off of that entire world, which I think is just another jump forward in time like this one is, which is the like Trial of Sorceress series, I think is the next one. But that one's not completed, so we'll see. Next I have Tarnished Empire, also by Danielle L. Jensen. I've been reading a lot of Danielle L. Jensen. This is her Dark Shores series, which is more YA opposed to the Bridge Kingdom, which is more NA to adult. This is a very piratey, again, very political. Danielle L. Jensen is very good at writing political fantasies. There's a bit of romance in there. Tarnished Empire is actually a novella. So I've actually finished books 1 through 3, which is all that's out. I believe book 4 is supposed to drop later this year. So the way kind of like with the Truth Witch stuff, I tried to plan it when it was originally supposed to drop, which was supposed to be December. So December, I read book 2, book 3, it would have been January, and then book 4, I would have gone out and gotten the 4th book. However, it got pushed to, I think, like later this fall. So I'd already committed to reading the series, which is fine. It's a good series. I've been greatly enjoying it. So Tarnished Empire is a novella based off of the soldier's backstory. So really interested. The soldier's one of my favorite characters, so I'm not mad. Plus it's a short book because I have a lot of long books, so I need a short book, and this was a perfect one. Next I have Prankster by Scott Cawthon. This is the 9th or 10th book in the Fazbear Fright series. I've been listening to these on audiobook. They're all on Scribd, or Everand as it is now. And these are just super fun. They're like 6 hours long, and I listen to my audiobooks at 1.8 speed, so I finish it in like 3.5 hours. They're just fun, Five Nights at Freddy's universe, silly, creepy stories, and I'm just working my way through this entire thing. And they have just been a joy. They're the perfect palate cleanser for all these high fantasy stuff that I usually read. They're sci-fi, they're creepy, they're thrillery, they're gory. It's a great palate cleanser for me. I have Fuel the Fire by Krista and Becky Ritchie. This is the like 7th or 8th book in the Addicted / Calloway Sisters series. I was really hesitant after reading Addicted. After reading Addicted to You, I actually took a break after reading that first book, and then I finally picked up the second book and then fell face forward into this entire series. So this is a contemporary romance series following 3 main couples as they deal with toxic families, toxic relationships, mental illness, addictions, literally everything. This touches everything. And I just have been really falling in love with this entire series, so Fuel the Fire is the next one that I have. And the last book that I have is Cursed Fates by Caroline Peckman and Suzanne Valenti. This is the 5th book in the Zodiac Academy series. I am currently reading Shadow Princess, so most likely dealing with this one next month. So the Zodiac Academy series is interesting. I will say this, it is like watching reality television. It's not my favorite thing in the entire world, but it is hella entertaining, and that is why I am reading them. They're fun, they're stupid, they're really spicy, and I'm just kind of having a good time watching what's unfolding in this nonsense. So that is my TBR for February. I get a whole extra day in February. We don't have a ton of plans, so I'm hopefully going to be able to get through this and all the ebooks that I need to get through. I will also be on vacation during the first part of the month, so I'll probably get a ton of the ebooks out of the way immediately. After I finish Crescent City, I have already pre-ordered it. I will be on vacation when Crescent City drops next. It's already dropped when this video is coming out, but right now it comes out next week. So I am so excited. That's gonna be the first thing I read the day that drops. So I'm just so excited for Crescent City, but so that'll probably technically be on the February TBR. I'll read it the last few days of January though. So that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know down below what you're reading in February, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!